1, 2, 3. Hello, good people. So, Democratic Party, what's going on? We have wars everywhere. We're getting multiple stages, okay? Multiple theatres of war, I should say. Illegal aliens just flooding the United States non-stop. There's no slowdown. You know, what is it? Mayorkas doesn't seem to really even be awake. He knows exactly what's going on, but his job is to deflect as much information as he can from the truth. But from the truth seekers, I should say. We know that Joseph Biden's in the late progressive stages of dementia. He just asked Israel to not bomb Haifa. That's an interesting one, isn't it? And it just seems to be getting worse and worse. Donald Trump is being charged with everything under the sun. It sort of doesn't seem to stick, because when it comes down to the evidence, but it's not about that. It's about dwindling down his resources and keeping him out of election mode. But why are all these crises suddenly popping up in the election year? And of course, October 7 was last year, but it's taken a few months to sort of kick in. The simple reason is that Democrats cannot win on hope, opportunity, revival. These are not things that should be ever associated with the Democratic Party again. The Democratic Party can win purely on crises, pestilence, disaster, mayhem, degeneracy, and just insanity. Okay, we see this now. Roe versus Wade. It's saying this is undemocratic when actually it's the most constitutional thing I think that has happened by the Supreme Court in the last couple of years. To give power back to the states. That's what the Republic was all about, the constitutional republic. Give as much power to the states as possible. Okay, make sure the federal government is only taking care of federal issues. But the Democratic Party don't want that. They want basically to have complete domination over everything you do, everything you say. And I don't really see them slowing down their efforts to take that control away. The United States is still holding on with a thread to the Second Amendment. As much as the Democratic Party seems to want to attack that at every chance they get, it's holding on by a thread. The First Amendment is getting shredded, and it's becoming dangerous. We're just finding out now that January 6th may have been orchestrated. The videos on Twitter that are coming out now, unbelievable, about the 2020 election. The information that's coming out, it's getting scary. And if anybody actually looked at it, there's also Telegram APK channels that are even more open to it. Twitter still does, have censorship. It hasn't gone away. But the amount of fraud and corruption that has occurred is unprecedented in American history. But the problem is that if people focus on the issues, which really is, the United States is being bit by bit, destroyed internally. If people actually were concentrating on that, they would see the enemy for who he is, which is the Democratic Party. So that's why Joseph Biden's handlers, because we know it wasn't Joseph Biden, released money to Iran. So Iran could fund Hezbollah, that could then fund Hamas, Fatah, maybe Islamic Jihad, ISIS. I'm pretty sure that Hezbollah doesn't have a problem with funding any of those organizations. We see the protests of the useful idiots, Gaza, non-stop, because they're able, especially the LGBTQ community and just the queer community in general, just the degenerates as well, just the furries and all those kind of people, which I believe they have the full right to do as adults. If you want to dress up as a chicken, I think you should be allowed to. But they attach themselves to the plight plight of the Gazans or the Palestinians. I think it's very important right now to consider every Palestinian a member of Hamas, because the videos that are coming out show that they're all very happy when attacks occur against Israel. Israel is a tiny speck on the Middle Eastern map, and it just seems like they're the big problem in the Middle East. I don't know how that is rationalized by these useful idiots, but it seems to be. And overall, we seem to be moving further and further left of really the classical liberal, classical conservative objective, which should be America, the American experience. And the simple reason is that how can the Democrats win any other way than to say that a woman should have a right to abortion 24/7? But let's not talk about the fact that in order to accomplish that, a unborn human being must be bludgeoned to death. We won't mention that, okay? Do I think that abortion should be made illegal? No. It should be rare and only when doctor says it must be done in order to save the mother's life. That's about as far as it should go. Now, also, we need to think about Ukraine. There is more funding for Ukraine than the border wall. Why is that? But then you actually watch videos of Kiev, everything looks fantastic. It seems like Russia's only bombing the outback where nobody lives, okay, or abandoned towns already, and everybody's already in Kiev. So why is this? Is this money laundering? Are they funneling money out of the United States? And if so, who's going to benefit from that at the end of the day? Okay, so we already know who's taken money from Ukraine. Okay, we can't mention his name, Hunter. We also know that Russia, the only people that Russia have given money to was the Clinton Foundation, $150 million. Oh, I should also mention the mayor of Petersburg, his wife gave Hunter Biden a brand new Porsche, wasn't it? But let's not talk about that, because we all know that the Bidens are one of the most ethical families of all time. Hunter Biden's baby mama, she can talk to you about that all day. But why is all this money laundering occurring? Why are all these illegals coming in? Do you really believe they're not going to get to vote in November? I mean, we're already seeing on Telegram and on Twitter as well, documentation they receive about how to vote and to vote for Democrats. It's kind of interesting that we're being told they're undocumented citizens now, when really they're illegal aliens. Why is that? Oh, we've got to be polite and respectful to these people. They suffered. Okay, homeless Americans everywhere. Americans addicted to fentanyl. Well, Democrats already have their mail-in votes. They don't need their new mail-in votes. They've already got them. They've got the lists, the addresses that they've given them and everything. We've seen that in 2020 because people, 50, 60 people living at the same one address. And so now, well, these new illegal aliens coming in, they're going to get to vote somehow. Okay. But of course, it would never happen in the United States because we all know that America has the most secure votes of all time. The Telegram videos, the evidence that's coming out is just hearsay. It might be from reputable people in very important situations, just like January 6th. We've seen now people coming out saying it was a complete setup, but we all know that those people didn't know what they were talking about because only the Democratic Party know the truth, and that is that, President Trump didn't say patriotically and peacefully. Of course he wouldn't have said that. And mainstream media, of course, they don't need to say that because we know he never said that, according to Nancy Pelosi, the most clean, moral, ethical, politician of all time, who has never made a cent on the stock market from making big political decisions about where to spend money. She's never done any of that. We know that's a fact. We don't ever have to question her greatness. She's just a brilliant stock trader. But if the Democratic Party focused on the core American values, which are God, they lose that battle. Family, they lose that battle because they want disintegration of the nuclear family. They'll lose it on economy. They're adding trillions to the debt, unprecedented, and not bringing industry back, unlike Donald Trump. The illegal aliens are coming in and are causing all kinds of problems. We only need to watch the videos. If they went and tried to win on those 4 issues alone, they would lose. Core of America is 85% conservative. California, New York are really the 2 lefty big states, right? They're trying to get Texas. We just noticed 250,000 registrants to vote. Where'd they all come from? We don't know. Who knows? But of course, it's America. There's no fraud in any election in American history. We know that. But where is it? Why? Why all of a sudden? If they win Texas, then they're in power again. Then do you think there will be any freedom left? Of course not. Donald Trump didn't try to lock up any journalists. Barack Obama did, and he succeeded with Julian Assange. FISA warrants, using the Five Eyes network to spy on Americans. That occurred under President Barack Obama. I should just say Barack Obama. Maybe just Obama. I don't think he was a president. Okay, seditious traitor, that's a better wording for me. Maybe we'll just say Obama, okay? If the Democratic Party tried to win on core American values, they would lose. That's why they need to tip those core American values over. And how do they do that? With new people that don't share those values at all. And when a certain group reach 30% of the population in any country they're in, they become a very big problem. That's why they would love more of those people to come in. But what happens after they come in is a disaster for everyone. But at least the oligarchs in charge will be out before that happens. They'll be living somewhere else, maybe in the Bahamas. So America's in for a real challenging time. And there's really only one candidate who may be able to turn things around. I think it might be too late. NATO were not paying their fair share, and Russia was a titmouse under President Trump, wasn't he? He didn't do much. He didn't even talk. Kim Jong-un was pretty quiet too. So was the Middle East. Don't mention the Abrahamic Accords. Abraham Accords, don't mention those. Would have given Palestinians a state of their own if they'd stuck to it. Just like they got promised in 1993, but then they blew that chance. 10 years later, they blew another chance. 10 years after that, they blew another chance. They love to blow chances, the Palestinians. So, the Democratic Party can only win out of crises, pestilence, disaster, mayhem, insecurity, anxiety, depression. They can't win any other way. That's why they're so pro-LGBTQ. But no one mentions mental health. Because you've got to keep those people out of the asylums. You've got to keep them with the opportunity to vote. At least have a mail-in vote card delivered to them. You know, theoretically delivered to them. Because they're the only groups of people who the Democrats can get right down. Okay, the radical left-wing lunatics, the illegal aliens, the LGBTQ community, and even most of them, they don't want to be branched in with all these other maps and these, what is it, the furries and all these other, all these other new groups that are coming on very, very quickly. They're going to come in very, very quickly. They can't win any other way. And it should be a wake-up call to all Americans, whether you're a conservative or a liberal. It just seems that the mainstream media did a very good job to hoodwink everybody. Because a lot of them still believe that President Donald Trump is much worse than Joseph Biden. To me, that is the scariest issue with the United States right now. People are saying they're better under Democrats than they are under Republicans. And all you need to do is check your history. And you will find out that ain't true. So anyway, good people, thank you very much for watching this video. November 2024, very consequential. Donald Trump 2024. You can do this, and I wish you all the best. God bless. Believe in Jesus. Bye for now. 1, 2, 3.